appropriately trained. One of the first cases I worked on at PETA, at a slaughterhouse in Pennsylvania, came from a guy who worked near the kill floor. His job was to chop off the hooves and lips of cows who were already supposed to be unconscious as they came around on the pulley on a conveyor belt. They were so improperly stunned that he would chop off one hoof and another hoof would come around and kick him in the face. His repeated attempts to get the on-site USDA inspector to have the machinery fixed and to have the personnel better trained was met with the reply of, "Get back to work, we have a quota to fill." So he called PETA. PETA got in, we documented these major violations. We turned over all of our evidence to the Pennsylvania State Department of Agriculture, and they slapped him on the hand, said they tried to get him to fix the machinery and do a better job. This was a big wake-up call to us. We started getting more and more calls like this from all over the country, from a foie gras farm here in Hudson Valley in New York, where they were force-feeding ducks to fatten their livers for foie gras, shoving pipes into their throats and filling them so full of food that they couldn't even stand up or walk anymore. These cases spring up all over the country, and in each of these cases, we have worked hand in hand with law enforcement. We work with law enforcement from the minute we get on a case and find abuse. The law enforcement advises us not to quit and give the evidence to them right away, but rather to stay there for as much time as they can, at least 2 months, to show patterns of cruelty and to show whether or not the supervisors or the managers are involved in it, to show systemic problems. And that's what we've been doing for the past 20-odd years. Well, our cases have started to see a lot of results. I'd like to show a short video here that we took.
Before we can get to that?
Yes.
I'm State Senator Tony Avella, and one of the reasons we're here today is for Senator Ritchie's bill, which is 5172, which is basically titled The Unlawful Tampering of Farm Animals. Problem with the bill, it has one specific section that would prohibit the videotaping, video audio recording of animals within any particular farm without the owner's permission. And that would, in effect, stop all the undercover work that PETA, the Humane Society of the United States, and all other animal rights groups have done. And as Dan, just basically, sort of outlined the work that their group has done working with federal authorities. While I can understand part of the logic behind the bill, clearly this section is designed to stop the independent undercover reporting of animal abuse. And during the committee, I was only one of 2 members who voted against it. In fact, I was the only committee member who raised this with the chair, Senator Ritchie. And I basically said to her, please take this section out of the bill. I'm hopeful that she will, but I think that this is the purpose of the press conference here today, is to raise the level of awareness that if this section is not changed, this bill must be defeated at the Senate level. There is no Assembly sponsor yet. So from our perspective, that's a good sign. But as Dan will show you some of the videos that his organization has taken, this is extremely important because government can't be every place at once when it comes to these type of farms and the farm owners who abuse the animals and violate the best farming practices. So we're here today to say this section of the bill has to be taken out. The bill should not move ahead. And I'm hopefully working with my Democratic colleagues in the Senate to make sure that they're all aware of the fact that this bill must die in committee. And by the way, the other senator who voted against in committee was Shirley Humphrey.
Okay, thanks. I think in my meetings with some of the sponsors of these bills in other parts of the country, in Iowa and Minnesota, they often were unaware of how closely PETA works with law enforcement, with local authorities as well as the federal authorities, to get these cases sorted out and to get these places improved. The deputy on the case that I'm about to show you, which is from a Hormel farm in Iowa, was a pig farmer himself, and he called this a wake-up call to the pork industry. Let's take a look at the sort of things that PETA finds when we're invited on farms by whistleblowers who work there.